Gambling, it's one of the oldest forms of entertainment in human history. Now there are so many different ways you can gamble. You can do slot machines, you can do roulette, you can do blackjack. The options are endless. But the thing is, here in Albion Online, gambling, it's illegal. Now it doesn't matter if you use third-party websites or you simply just roll a dice, which is one of the game's features. Gambling, it's against terms of service. So if you want to gamble, you have to be sneaky. And the game offers you a couple of options if you really want to try your luck for that one big prize. Now amongst all the options, you can craft 8.4s to get a masterpiece, which will make you millions and millions of silver. You can roll artifacts for that one very big expensive prize, or even re-roll the quality on the repair shop to get a masterpiece. But what is the issue with all of these? Well, they don't give you that pump, that rush that you get when you're in a casino, because deep down you know the odds are really in your favor. But there is one thing that Albion added recently which just gives you a reasoning to gamble. Yes, you heard me right, Albion just incentivizes you to gamble. So back in July 22 of 2024, Albion on the Path to Glory update added the Albion Journal, which features a bunch of different quests that you have to complete in order to get rewards, such as skins, mounts, avatars, so many others. And the issue is they made some quests very, very hard for you to do. And one of them, in the farming category, is having the offspring of every single type of animal. Now, if you don't know what I mean, it basically means that you have to grow in your island every single animal and get the offspring. Now, the offspring, or how we like to call it, it's a baby, meaning that it's a little mini animal that you mount. So for example, for a Swiftclaw, it's going to be a Swiftclaw pup or a cub. For example, a moose, it's a baby moose, and etc, etc, etc. Now, when you're raising an animal and you use focus on it, you have a very slim chance of getting an offspring. Now on Swiftclaws, this chance is around 30%, which honestly sounds really bad. But when you put things into perspective, there is one mount, which is the Mammoth, and it's the most expensive mount on the entire game. Well, the odds are not in your favor at all. And the chance of you getting a baby mammoth, it's only 15%, meaning that it's very hard for you to do this and be actually able to get the offspring back. Now, as you may imagine, 15%, it's not too good. It means that 1 out of 7, in theory, should give you a calf. So why don't people just spam make these animals in their highlands? Well, honestly, it's pretty simple. When every single animal is costing you around 350 million silver, of course you're gonna struggle a little bit with making a bunch of them. Now, you think that you would grow the animal, and even if you didn't get the calf, you'd still make money. Well, that unfortunately is not the case with mammoths. And why is that? So, people know and love to gamble in this game. So, the people who have the calves and don't want to breed them, what they're going to do is they're going to naturally inflate the pricing, meaning that it's going to be very hard for you to buy one at accessible value. And what else does this mean? It means that if you're going to be raising the animal, you're actually going to sell it for cheaper than you make it. So for example, a mammoth calf might be worth 350 million, but the grown mammoth can only sell for 300. And how or why is that so bad? Because you're pretty much gambling 50 million silver for only 15% chances of you winning, which, as you can imagine, it is pretty bad in terms of gambling. So, of course, as you can imagine, even with all of these downsizes, I did what I was supposed to do. I bought myself 4 calves from the discords and I put them on my island. Now, when you're growing these calves, there are 2 things that are very important. The first one is these calves, these elephants, eat like crazy. They're eating around 450 carrots per day. And honestly, they take so much time for you to grow. It's around 5 days in a row that you have to make them. Now, unfortunately, in order to get this 5 days of growth time, you have to have premium active. Now, since I was recording this in the American server, which I normally don't play in, I was also forced to buy premium, for 2 reasons. First, the growth rate, so it would grow 2 times faster. And the second one, so I could utilize focus and have a higher chance of offspring. And what do I mean by this? If you don't focus or nurture, as you call it in the game, the animals, what's going to happen is your growth chances of getting an offspring are going to be really, really low. So you're pretty much just forced to have premium if you want to grow animals on your islands. Otherwise, it's going to take you so much time and so much resources in order for you to fully grow your livestock. So I've made myself some kennels. In this case, I just needed 1, and I got myself all the mammoths. I got 4 of them because I thought 4 is such a beautiful number. It's 1 per kennel, and maybe I am enough lucky that I get 1 calf. So as the days went by, I kept feeding them, and giving all my focus to these animals, and afterwards, we had the results. Now, I was meant to record the exact same moment where the calves would spawn, and I would know right away if I got them or not. But I wasn't here, so anyways, this is what we have. But we were very, very happy with this outcome. I got myself 1 calf out of the 4, and the most important part is I did the quest that I really wanted to do. So we just had one more thing to do, which was pick up the mammoths, grab ourselves a salad, a couple of leather, and then go make these into transport mammoths. Now, to do this, we also are going to be using focus, because focus increases the quality a little bit, and we're looking for one specific thing yet, which is even going to add more gambling into it, which is the masterpiece one. Now, the issue with a masterpiece mammoth is that it's very hard for you to get. So anyways, we got ourselves these Kraken salads, off to the saddlery we went, and we used focus on these 4 mammoths. Now, the first one we got outstanding, and then we got good quality, and then we got normal and good quality again. Well, this is kind of disappointing. Not the mammoth I was looking for, but it's not too bad, because I've always been told that a gambler is only one bet away from hitting the jackpot. And since Mama didn't raise no quitter, we could not stop here. And therefore, I packed up my things and off to the repair shop I went. Now, the second tab of the repair shop in this case is the reroll quality, where you can be very lucky and hit excellent and masterpiece quality. And as you can imagine, these are the qualities that we want to look and want to get for our mammoths. And that's exactly what I did. We rerolled 100 million silver into mammoths to get that damn masterpiece. And you want to know what happened? We only got 3 out of the 4. Clearly the last one did want to stay in excellent quality, because who needs a masterpiece anyways? So, how much money did we actually make with this entire experiment? So, first of all, for every single mammoth calf, we paid around 290 million. And since we had 4 of them, that means we paid a total of 1.16 billion silver. Now, the next thing that we have to take into consideration is the food that it costed. Now, per mammoth, it was roughly 2 million. So let's just say in foods we wasted 10 million. So that totals to 1.17 billion silver. And finally, the next cost that we have to take into consideration was the premium that we bought in order to use focus and reduce the time that the mammoth takes to grow. This was roughly 30 million silver, so far we have wasted 1.2 billion silver. And the last aspect that we have to take into consideration is the rerolling fees, which was around 100 million silver total. So that means that for all 4 mammoths, we spent around 1.3 billion silver. So with these values in mind, the next thing that we have to take in consideration is how much money we actually made with these mammoths. So for every single masterpiece, we were selling them for around 280 million silver. So in this case, since we had 3 of them, it was a total of 840 million silver just in the masterpiece ones. Now for the excellent one, that one sells for a little bit cheaper, around 240 million silver. So that means that if we sell all the mammoths that we have, we're going to make around 1.08 billion silver, or 1.1 for short. So this means that if we did not get any calves, we would have lost around 200 million silver. Now since we made the calf back, and we got it, that's an extra 290 million silver. So that means it's going to be around 1.37 billion silver total. And that means we made around 70 million silver profit. Now, this was a very fun experience to do and something that honestly I never really thought about doing it. But the reality is very likely I'm not going to be doing it again, as it's a lot of gamble for very little reward. And you should only do this if you, one, you really need the quest, or second, you're very wealthy and you can afford to waste billions in silver just for the fun and the thrill of the gambling experience. Nevertheless, that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one. And as usual, Nendys out.